Qiyana Jungle is back and T1 Oner is completely smurfing it up on the EUS server. In just 136 games he has climbed up to the top 100 and he has also done this with a 70% win rate.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
Let's take a look at what he's doing in his games to achieve this impressive feat. So straight away you can see that Oner's team is going for an invade. This is because they have a TF gold card and a Trundle pillar to play with. Also, the enemy team is 4 melee champions, so they can look for an easy pick here. You can see Oner flashing over the wall, trying to catch the Leona here, but I don't think he will because of the movement speed. So unfortunately they didn't get a kill from the invade, but trading flash for flash on Leona is huge for Oner. And the reason why is because Leona is an immobile champion. Combine this with having a Trundle support who can pillar her and slow her to oblivion, combined with a Brand route follow-up, combined with a Qiyana route follow-up, that is just free elo for Oner. He'll be able to gank her anytime she's in the middle of the lane. And this is exactly the stuff you have to look for if you want to be able to snowball in your games like Oner can. Another thing you'll have to look for in your games is for alternative opportunities. Here you can see things aren't going as planned for Oner. His bot lane is already feeding, so instead of still continuing to path down towards them when they're already losing, Oner decides to come and invade the Evelynn, who is pathing towards topside, which is a good idea because Qiyana's early strength is going to be a lot more than Evelynn's, and as well he does have a strong side in his top laner, so he would be able to rotate to help out in a skirmish here. And all of that would have been great, but Oner made one fatal mistake, and that was not respecting mid prio and continuing to walk onto Evelynn's raptors. Naturally, because of this mistake, Oner is now forced back to the bottom side of the map. At least he'll be able to secure the crab though, because Evelynn is topside, and maybe he can even look for her Gromp when it respawns if she's still there around the 4:25 minute mark. Oner going back to his red buff here is a bit strange. Maybe he's autopiloting, because normally he should be looking for her Gromp as Evelynn is still topside. This would put him in a great position to gank the bottom lane if they overextend or fight, and also it would prevent Evelynn from snowballing and getting even further ahead of Oner. Oner has bot lane priority here and his Trundle is walking with him, so they are looking for an invade on the Evelynn. There's no way they're looking for a dive when the enemy is full health in bot lane. Enemy bot lane engages because Trundle is missing and they are rotating to come take advantage of this opportunity. Seeing how Leona is very low health and Tristana's not exactly full health herself, they could definitely look for a dive here with the wave. The only thing they need to be careful of is if Evelynn is still on the bottom side of the map. So it's 6 minutes into the game and the game looks dire. Is there any way Oner can come back in this game, do you think? Hold on, why would Oner ever engage this? This is a very bad 3v3 situation, right? The reason why Oner engaged there, even though it might have looked into you, is because Brand was on the way on the minimap. Tristana was at her tower farming minions, so they did end up taking a 4v3 here. They took a bounty off of the Evelynn, and this is how you can maybe get yourself back into a game. Oner knows that Evelynn has no ulti from the previous fight, and that Evelynn's red buff has just respawned recently, so he is hunting, looking for her, trying to make a pick. You can see she does find the Wukong, but they will be able to trade here 1 for 1. Seeing how Evelyn didn't have any red buff under her, this can signal to Oner this is an opportunity to go and take her red buff. Looking at the map, you can see Darius is pushing his lane out, Wukong is returning from base, and Oner does have his ulti. This is a very free pick. You want to look for these. Being able to get around the map quickly like this on Qiyana on Talon is what is making these champions so popular in Challenger. They can get around the map quick and they can make things happen. Especially so when they get their Ghost Blade and can zoom around the entire map, which is what Oner is recalling here for. Oner is running down to the bottom side because he has more camps there, but more importantly because this is where action can happen and is actually currently happening. Having 440 movement speed on this Qiyana is something to be feared. By the enemy team, of course. Good reaction here from Oner to skip his raptors and look for the fight here. Picks up the Evelyn, forces the Tryndamere flash, really good stuff, just picking up free kills. He's also going to soak up this wave, and this is how you start snowballing. Another good spot from Oner to come take bot lane kill. This shutdown is quite big, and you can see Oner is back into the game. 4-3-4. Just have to be patient and look for opportunity to present itself. This is Challenger Elo. If you just look around, you will see it everywhere in your games. Just like this. Leona. Inting. Literally right here. 5-3-4 now. And this Qiyana is now to be feared. Oner knows that Tristana and Leona are going to return to lane at different times, so here he is looking for a pick, and he just completely one-shots Tristana and makes her life a living miserable hell. This is a really good read from Oner, keeping his TF alive, scaring the enemy away from diving him. Not only does he prevent TF's death by showing up here for him, he's also enabling his top and bot lane to push their towers because 3 people showed up mid and Tristana was dead. Oner is once again looking for a pick on Evelyn at her red buff. But here comes Darius, so he's going to sit in the bush and potentially look for him. Nope, he walks away, so he's looking for the Evelyn now. Looks like she did take the red buff. So instead, they're just going to go pop the Darius here, who's trying to clear the control ward. Qiyana does have ulti, she does hit the root, and there you go. Just, it's disgusting. Gore Drinker Darius, Ghost Blade Qiyana with straight Dirk, just completely obliterated. Really nice from him, and he's straight back into his jungle, back to farming because there's no further place for him to make. Wukong can push the tower by himself safely, so Oner's gonna farm. Oner is running to mid because he sees action going on, but when he sees that the action is over, he comes down to bot side because this is where his camps are, and also because there is a wave sitting here waiting to be picked up. Everyone on his team is mid lane or top lane, so Oner's gonna come push out the bottom lane or join the fight here. Whichever option is better for him is the option that he's gonna take, and this is how you're gonna want to think in your own games. Oner recognizes at this stage that his team is ahead, he is extremely fed, and he is the one who would carry fights. So he groups up with his team to provide them safety, and if a fight breaks out, he's just going to do this to the enemy team. That one shot on Evelyn was absolutely disgusting, and this is just the power of a 2-item Qiyana. At this stage of the game where you recognize your team is ahead is when you want to start grouping and looking for fights 5v5, 4v4, whatever it is with whoever is strong on your team. Even if no fights break out, you guys should be able to get lane priority, and this will allow you to play in the enemy jungle like Oner is playing right now and look for enemy camps so he can continue extending the lead. You could say that Oner was too greedy by not recalling and spending his gold, but this was just really well played by Evelyn, so I wouldn't really put the blame on him here. One thing you can take away here is that Oner is farming his own jungle because there's nothing else for him to do right now. It would be completely int of him to walk into the enemy jungle by himself while everyone on his team is in base. So this is the time when you'd want to be farming your own jungle in the mid game. Oner is making a classic mistake of walking into Fog of War by himself here. It's very surprising that he somehow makes it work going 1-for-1, but this was a very bad mistake from him because he walked into Fog of War alone when the only person we saw on the map was Leona. You can see here when Oner's team is pressuring the map, he's also trying to pressure. He's not just farming his own jungle, he's walking in towards Evelyn's jungle because he knows where everyone is on the map, but also he has changed his path now to come look for these picks in the top lane because that was a very extended fight and he picked up on it. Instead of farming camps, it's a lot better to go find kills. So 2 pickups right there from him, really nice, that's what I love to see, and this could turn into a Baron if they can group up for it. Oner knows TF is coming, so he's not just barging straight into Darius. He's waiting to minimize risk, so there's no chance of a 1-for-1 trade happening here. Just wants to guarantee the kill, guarantee the pick, and then continue to apply pressure. Maybe they can find Baron, maybe they can find Dragon, they can find camps, they can find towers. They're just trying to pressure, push their lead, and suffocate the enemy team here. This is what vision control can enable you to do. You can establish vision control by establishing a lead first of all, which actually allows you to walk into the enemy jungle as a team to put down wards like this and clear vision. You can't just do this randomly in gold, silver, platinum, whatever elo you're playing at, just because you feel like, oh yeah, we can win it with vision control. You have to understand that this is all enabled by Oner's team being ahead. Notice how there hasn't been a Baron attempt unless everyone is at the Baron here, and they do have a numbers advantage. Two of the enemy team is dead, it's a 5v3. There's just no way for the enemy to contest this. You want to avoid coin flips as much as you can. Don't look for 50-50 objectives. Make sure you find kills and then convert that into objectives like this, you can see. This dragon here is completely okay because we can see Darius pushing out top lane, so this is a 4 versus 3. Alright, so I think at this stage you can see that Oner's team is very, very ahead of the enemy team, and they are likely to win this game. So I'm just going to leave this to a fast forward now. The game is kind of sealed, like they've secured their lead. They came back from big early deficit from all those deaths early game, and like they've managed to make it back. So really all it is at this stage is camp the enemy jungle, push waves, hover laners, and take fights, take objectives. It's really all it is at this stage after you've got the lead. Just make sure when you are camping the enemy jungle and trying to make plays that you're playing with your team. You're not just running in by yourself into Fog of War or jumping into 2 players like this by yourself when your team's pushing the tower. Because this is how you can throw games, and this is how a lot of platinum and below and even diamond games are thrown. So just make sure you're not falling into those common pitfalls. Anyways, that's going to be it from me. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, do like, sub, comment, whatever. Yeah, hope you learned a lot.